Good morning, this is Debbie with AncestryandTravels.com. I thought I'd do another tutorial today. Today I'd like to do a little bit of the tutorial on how to find PDF books. Books are always a fun thing to give you some good insight and information. I'm going to go in and look for McKee. That's my surname that I've searched for many years. As you can see here, there's the Book of McKee by Raymond Walter McKee. What I would do is, if this is a book that would be interesting to me, I would go ahead and click on that book. They're going to let you view all 631 pages. Now, I'm kind of a hoarder. I like to have things at my fingertips. So if you want to get a copy of the book, you'd click on that little download button right there. And then you'd download the PDF. So you'd click on this and then you'd say OK to save the file. I actually have a copy of this book, so I don't need another copy, but that's just basically how you go about downloading a book. And as you can see, there's quite a few different books from different families that have McKee history. So it's always fun to go in and look at the McKee or your family surname records. This is a family book that I've never really seen much of, so I want to go ahead and look at that. Now, one thing you can do is preview the book to decide if it's something that's important to you. And then you could just roll your little scroller to make it a little bit bigger. Now, this McKee would not be part of my McKee family because he was born in South Carolina. And my McKees came from Ireland, Donegal, Ireland, into America through Pennsylvania. So this wouldn't belong to I'm sure somewhere down the road he would match up with my family. But just by going to those few pages, I can see that this isn't a McKee that is part of my direct line. So I wouldn't necessarily want a copy of that book. So you can go back to your search results. Then you can always also change your search. My McKees were in Fayette County, Pennsylvania. So you type that in and search to see what kind of information came in for you. This is an interesting Fayette County Wills, Volume 1. So we'll go in there just to kind of see if it's something that would be of interest to us. 1832 to 1866, this wouldn't be of interest to me because the dates that I'm looking for is somewhere between 1800 and 1810. So basically you can go on and see what is available without having to actually download the book. But it's also gives you some ideas of what kind of books are out there. So you're going to find out different things about a county, different family. This is a family record of Joanne Thompson Stauffer that Joanne Thompson Stauffer wrote for her family, the Stauffers. But you could find out different information. History of Bullskin Township, which was a township near where my grandparents lived. But you'll see that you'll either see public, or you'll see protected. Protected means that if you want to go see it, you'll probably most likely have to go into a family search library. Another thing you can do is take that name and copy it. So you just copy the name. And then you take it in and to Google and see if maybe there's somewhere else that has a copy, either in a PDF or an e-file format. This is a whole book about the Uniontown, the county seat of Fayette County history. It's made public. There's another This is a different version of it, but it's protected. So sometimes you'll find things that are protected, but you can also find obviously a copy of it as well that is not protected. Biographical portraits. This is one of my favorite type of books for a county because of the biographical records that are contained in it. And sometimes you'll get lucky enough to have one of your family that is in that biographical. Again, you can go in and you can look and see what's contained within the book. It's going to tell you what some of the names are of people that they've got biographies on. And as you can see here, there's a McGee, a Samuel McGee, but there is not a McKee. So it wouldn't be of great interest to me if it doesn't have McKee. Now these are going by the townships, so I'll go ahead and go in and see what they have. I know Washington Township was one of the townships that my great-grandfather was in. John McKee Sr. I happen to know that this isn't one of my direct McKees, but it doesn't hurt to go in and look and see what they have on the person, because sometimes you'll find a biography on someone that is a cousin or a brother that you don't know that family information, and there'll be quite a bit of stuff in that's contained in it. So it's always good to look and see, especially if, I mean, I've gone through a lot of these books because I've already been through here. Here's a Robert McKee, page 457. We can go in and look at him. One of the things you can do, see this has the page, so let's look 457. See if we can skip to that page. James McCune, Joseph McCormick. So see, there's some cool information contained within this. Now, one of the things that you also need to note is that the number of the book, so it said it was 457, but this is only 452. So then you'd want to go ahead and skip over. They also have some fun and cool portraits. And you might get lucky and have a portrait of one of your ancestors that you don't already have in your collection. We're on 55, 56, 57. Now this one says that he was born in Ireland in September of 1848 and was educated. He came to Canada in 1869, and then he came to Fayette County. Now, one of the interesting things about this Robert McKee, born in 1848, even though he's not one of my family members, he was born in Ireland. Okay, he came to Canada. He ended up in Fayette County, Ohio, which is where my grandfather came. So it's very likely that there could be some kind of a connection. So this is something that I would want to keep a copy of. Now, without downloading the book, I believe you can also print a page. I haven't really done it here on, let's see if we can, that's not going to work for us. Anyway, that's one of the reasons I download the books, because then I can go in and what I really enjoy doing is I'll download the book, I'll go into the page that I want, and then I'll hit print, but then I'll choose to print it as a PDF. So you have the actual page of this book. You show the pages that you want. You put from page this to page that. Obviously, this is page 457, but it's really 462 as far as this book, ebook is or PDF is concerned. So I would want to go ahead and go in and print and then choose page 462 and print it as a PDF. And then I would file that away in my files as a clue to some of my family. One of the reasons why I find this as a clue for my family is because Robert McKee is a name that's well used in my family, and my great-grandfather was Robert McKee that came to Fayette County from Ireland. Also, another thing, so we've got the Robert McKee in the Fayette County, but then also in here, if you'll go down farther, it says Mr. McKee is a member of the Presbyterian Church, which my family would have been Presbyterians. His father, George McKee, was a native in Ireland and resided there all of his life. So very likely this is a cousin or a brother, this George McKee of my great-grandfather. Another reason why I find it interesting is that his father, he was a farmer and married Jane McKee. Jane McKee is another really, really well-used given name to my McKee line. Another thing is Thomas McKee, Elizabeth McKee, George McKee, Catherine McKee, and Robert McKee, and also Andrew McKee. So there's quite a few names within this group of McKees that are very prominent in my McKee family line. So this would be a record that I would want to keep just because it would give me some more clues. First of all, to more McKees within my line, but also it gives me more clues to the fact that that there was a George McKee that was in Ireland that had children there that have some of the same given names that my line had. So this would be good to have because eventually you might find information about this. It says the subject of this sketch and Andrew McKee. So he says the farmer. So it's saying that Robert McKee, the subject of the sketch, and then a brother named Andrew. Andrew's also a very popular name in my family. Thomas McKee, grandfather of Robert McKee, was a native of Ireland. Mr. McKee is intelligent, well-informed, and of industrious habits and frugal disposition. It's always a nice thing to hear about someone in your family. Now, the grandfather being Thomas McKee is even more exciting to me because I know that there was a Thomas McKee in Glencolumkill, County of Donegal, that had children in Donegal. So I'm guessing this is probably one of his great-grandchildren or his grandchildren. So this is an interesting article that I would want to have for my own information. Just from my own research, I found that my family came from Donegal. They came to Ohio or to Pennsylvania around in the Fayette, Washington, and Allegheny counties of Pennsylvania, and then many of them moved from there down to Ohio. So the fact that this man went to Fayette County, Pennsylvania, tells me that he had cousins that lived in this county at the time that he went there, because it was a really normal migration for my family to go from Donegal to Fayette County area of Pennsylvania. And then, like I said, some of them went down, my grandfather included, to Knox County, Ohio, and several other counties within that area. So this would be a good article that I would want to have. So I would want to go ahead and download this book and get the copy. I'm just trying to see if there's a way to, let's look at this print. So it says download page image of 462. So it looks like right there, it's going to let me go ahead and take that one page, which is good. That's exciting. I didn't even know I could do that. So there you go. Something we both learned today. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. in my files. I'll go check that for later and put it where I want it to be. But for right now, it's good to have that picture. Now, because I don't know for sure if it gives me the whole entire page of 462, I'm going to go ahead and do this again because I want to make sure I get the whole page. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And instead of saving it somewhere else, I'm going to go ahead and save it on my desktop because then I can refer to it quicker. And then I'll know for sure that I got this piece of this page because that's what's important to me, is that little piece right there. But this is just an idea of different ways that you can go in and use books within the Family Search catalog of books that you could go in and find some information about your family. You'll find as you go in here and search that you can put in different what's the word I want to say? Different ways that you want to research. And as you research, you'll find some books that'll have interesting names on them. And you'll want to go through and search for other ones, especially if it has something in there for you, like this where this says biographical portrait encyclopedia. You can do that in any county in any area of the United States, any state of the United States. You can go ahead and put biographical and portrait encyclopedia of, and then put in Knox County, Ohio, or New York, New York, because a lot of these books, this book is written by John Gresham, which he has a lot of different things, or he created it. I don't know if that's the same John Gresham and Company. Must be interested because there's a John Gresham that does genealogy research for Ireland. So I got off on a tangent. That's something easy for me to do. Easy distracted. Especially when you're doing genealogy, it's really fun because you'll find yourself getting distracted all the time and going to different areas. But anyway, that's a way to go in and find different books that are available. Again, you go and click on the book. You say you want to view all the pages. And then if you decide you want a copy, you're going to go ahead and click this download, and then go ahead and download the entire PDF. And it's a lot of fun. If you saw all the books I have, you say, why would anybody want that many? But I find it really interesting. I like to go through and just see what's in there, see what kind of information I can find. In Knox County, I found my great-grandfather Charles McKee. Now, the information that was in there, that's another thing to keep in mind, is that the information that was in there was not necessarily the information that was all true. It said that my grandpa came in 1808 to Knox County, Ohio from Ireland, which I knew because my great-grandfather, his son, was born in 1792 in Pennsylvania, that they didn't come straight from Ireland. So you kind of have to take all your sources. They're not going to necessarily be dyed-in-the-wool perfect, but as you take those different clues, it's kind of like a puzzle, folks. You're putting those clues together to find your family story, and that's what makes genealogy exciting. Anyway, I hope you have a good time going in and researching some of the books on your family and the counties that you're looking for your family. They do have also books in Scotland, Ireland, all over the world, Italy, anywhere you want to go to find family books. They've got all kinds of different books in there. So you just go in and you put in what you're researching and see what you find. See if you hit a jackpot. It's a lot of fun. I hope you have a good day, and thank you for watching Ancestry and Travels tutorial. Be sure and like my page or subscribe to my channel so that I can go ahead and get more people coming in, more traffic coming into my tutorials. I would really appreciate it. Thank you and have a good day.